Time for another track from our UK Spotlight Artist of the Week. This week is Shimeon. This is from his album Masquerade. But before that, let's hear him in conversation with Aaron and Watkiss.
So you write all your own songs as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So when you're setting out writing a song, where do you begin?
Each song is different. There has been songs that I've dreamt. There's been songs which have just come to me with no instrument at all. Other songs have come in the studio. Mm-hmm. I've had a piece of music or a few chord sequences, mm-hmm. and then a song has come over the top of that. Sometimes I've actually recorded the song and not had any song at all. I recorded a full track with no song at all, and then sung a song over the top of it. that was what each time is different.
So there are different ways of doing it, then.
There's many different ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes some just are hard work.
Yeah.
Some you really do have to work on them. Some come in minutes. Some of them are just given. It's almost like some songs are actually already written, and you're just somehow putting them down.
And
you know.
Do you get the idea that you try and go for that same type of song that you mentioned, by like people like Bob Dylan and Chris Christopherson write? You know, that sort of song with a meaning behind it.
It isn't deliberate. It's not anything that I deliberately plan out. But on this last album, on this album Masquerade, I did want to say something that was profound. I did want to say some things in there which when you're compiling the album and when you're actually working it, then that was deliberate then. But I'm not deliberate in terms of a writer. Mm-hmm. I don't deliberately have to make a point in everything that I say. Some songs are just love songs. Some songs are just normal. Some songs don't have a meaning at all, and many songwriters try and make a meaning out of something when sometimes there isn't one. Mm-hmm. You know, but with this album, primarily I would say all the songs on this album do have a theme.
So the album's called Masquerade. It's the one that we're playing all the tracks from across this weekend. And how would you describe the album as to where it sort of sits in the musical spectrum?
I don't know.
Because it's got a hint of country, hasn't it? But yeah, it's not a sort of a straight country album, is it?
Well, when after I recorded the album in January and February, mm-hmm. and I didn't record it with anything in mind particularly. I knew I was making another album, but I was doing it purely out of the love of composing and creating this sound which I'd had for a long time. And I wanted this album. Other recordings that I've done before, a musician can tend to hide himself away in a certain sound. And with this album, I hadn't played with a band for a long time, so I just played alone, just myself and the acoustic guitar. And then once I'd kind of gotten more used to the sound that I was coming out with alone, and then I wanted to capture that on this album, which is just a very dry, upfront, and honest album. So, in terms of the style of the album or where it fits, there's quite a lot of different things on there. I didn't know anything particularly about the Americana side of it until after. The countryside I knew was there on Strange World and Radio Song, just what I do.
Yeah.
In terms of Willing Chains and songs like that, there's Where Love Betrays is typically honest, and that's myself.